Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back with another video from the Grand Line Review, and we're going to be checking out the new Monster Trio. Now, I love Sanji and Zoro's dynamic, I love how they clash at times, but I feel like when Yamamoto, is it Yamamoto? Yamamoto, I think it is, comes into the mix, I think there's going to be a lot of clashing and really interesting moments, and I think that's what this is going to be about. So let's see the new Monster Trio.
Hello and welcome to the Grand Line Review,
Yo.
One Piece. My name is Liam, and even though Momonosuke skipped 20 years ago,
Oh, so sick. I love Momonosuke's like older looking
the
look.
out-of-context summary for chapter 1051 is as follows. Momonosuke Digivolve to a slightly bigger Momonosuke.
Looks so cool.
Today the new Shogun of Wano has made the greatest sacrifice of all. In order to save all of the U's, our dear Shogun has given up the right to bathe with miscellaneous adult women.
No, he has.
Drawn by one of our super talented channel artists. And 3 lucky subscribers from this video are going
Why
to
would he throw away such a gift?
For example, one of our previous winners wanted a fake Luffy.
Wow.
That is exactly
That's
what
cool.
they got. To win, simply be subscribed to the channel and leave a one-sentence comment with your art request. And yes, you do need to be subscribed because YouTube shows me a funky little red dot next to your name, so you can't fool me. You can try, but actually don't. You'll also receive a high-quality digital copy of your request, as well as have it featured in future videos, thus becoming part of Grand Line Review history.
My God.
So, is that a new straw hat I see? While it's not in any way the main focus of
I
the
hope she
chapter,
does
my
join,
main
like...
takeaway from 1051 is Yamato finally interacting with the straw hats. It's one of those weird things because Yamato was introduced to us in February 2020. I'll say that again,
Wow.
2020.
Wow.
So we've had Yamato for 2 whole years. But throughout that entire time, no straw hat except for Luffy even realized that Yamato existed.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty huge shock to the system for, I guess, everyone. And it was an absolute...
Yeah, it's the first time they...
through each and every one of their reactions. For example, Usopp and Nami were obviously shocked because they're the more sensible crew members. They hear the word "son of Kaido" and they're
like,
just like, holy crap, that is scary. No, you can't join our crew. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have Brook and Sanji, who immediately embrace Yamato. I imagine for 2 very, very key reasons. And honestly, it's probably only a matter of time before Brook does his classic panty gag.
Yes.
Meanwhile, you've got Frankie, who's more confused than anything, with Roblin.
Roblin?
Alright. With Robin just tinkling away in the background, endlessly amused by the idea, probably because she also more or less intruded her way onto the crew.
That's true.
My favourite reaction of all is definitely Jinbei. He takes rules and honours and all of the things quite seriously, and I dare say I detect a hint of saltiness coming from our fish friend.
Because he is the newest one, yeah.
Joining the crew, you say? Is that so? I think not, until the captain.
Yeah, the captain's got to give you that.
Especially since right now Yamato has no role aboard the ship aside from being, I suppose, the dedicated Kozuki Oden, which, in all fairness, is a role that the former pirate king Goldie Roger absolutely needed to fill. So if we were truly min-maxing this Luffy journey, then it would be mighty handy to have an Oden of our own.
Yes,
I guess
true.
this means we're also going to be addressing this whole Oden thing fairly soon, because I can imagine a situation where Luffy refuses Yamato, or maybe more accurately, he refuses Oden. Maybe he says something like, I don't want an Oden on my crew, but I do want a Yamato, so get your identity in order. Something like that. Maybe not that harshly.
Maybe not that harsh.
And as keen as I am on Yamato becoming a full-on straw hat, I don't know if I'd go so far as to say it's guaranteed. At least not as easily as this.
Yeah, I do hope she joins, but...
sort of catharsis attached to that moment. Like Brook remembering his mission to find Laboon, or Frankie coming to terms with his dream and leaving his family on Water 7. So right now I would say that Yamato's journey feels a little bit too easy, and if anything, maybe this situation just goes full Oden, with Luffy setting Yamato a challenge in order to travel with them. Either way, it's very, very difficult to see Yamato staying on Wano. I might go so far as to say
got to be joining the crew.
But
Got
to the main
be.
meat of the chapter now, we now turn to someone who is composed of significantly more meat than he was before, because Momo has done a grow, and he's looking...
Momo's done a grow.
Actually, a lot cooler than I think I anticipated he would look. Especially with that wild hair. It gives me
The hair was
very
crazy.
solid Kangara vibes. And you know, it actually reminds me a lot of Hunter x Hunter during that moment when... Well, when I actually probably shouldn't say what happens because it's a huge spoiler. So you're just going to have to take my word for it, but this is very much different. By the way, if you're interested in Hunter x Hunter, the manga is officially coming back.
Yeah,
I have
it
an
is.
entire channel more or less dedicated to the series if you'd like to check it out. Link in the description.
Ain't that cool?
What I like most about Adult Momonosuke's design is that he isn't just a copy of Oden. Like, you can tell that they share a lot of the same
Similarities.
features,
Yeah.
But Momonosuke is clearly his own distinct character. which sometimes, Oda elects not to do, and certain characters can end up being carbon copies of their parents and/or spawn, depending on which came first. In reality, it would be the parents. In a story, sometimes it's the spawn. I also really like that Momo was revealed carrying the Ami no Habakiri, although I do question exactly how he got it. He certainly didn't have it during the raid, and none of the vassals were carrying it. I mean, it's unlikely that they were. Actually, you know what? It was probably Hiyori. She could have easily had the sword with her.
Quite
to be
possibly,
honest,
yeah.
I don't particularly care how it appeared, because this
It
reveal
looks
was
so
much more
cool.
impactful with Momo carrying Odin's blade than it would have been without it. Primarily because when Momonosuke was first offered the sword, he refused to accept it, because he did not believe that he was ready to inherit
But
it.
he is
So it's a
now.
pretty big statement to be carrying it. It shows that Momo is now ready to become the greatest shogun guy that Wano has
He
ever
is no
seen.
longer a
So for that
child.
reason, and that reason alone, but also for more reasons, it's definitely worth the whole, hey, where did that come from moment. And this chapter is absolutely full of technical, questionable things.
Okay,
like
go
that.
on. Like
Another
what?
example being that Momonosuke's clothes somehow grew up with
Oh, that's
which
true.
is certainly not how Shinobu's powers work. She matures things. In the case of people, I suppose that means they grow. In the case of objects, that means they decay. Unless Hiyori was also carrying a spare outfit for Momonosuke, although, it's a little bit big for an 8-year-old, because Hiyori would have had no way of knowing that he was going to grow up. Whatever, he looks cool.
He looks cool.
Let's move on. Let's move on to some vassals now, and we have a bit of a similar situation happening with Kinemon and Kiku in particular. I love that they're here, Kinemon especially.
Yes.
I think that not having him present would be just such a kick in the balls, considering everything he's done to move the
done a
story
lot. I
forward
need to
for the
progress
last
the story,
10
man,
years.
yeah.
The dude was first introduced in Punk Hazard.
Punk Hazard,
He's done
yeah.
a bit of heavy lifting. However, after all of the damage that this dude has taken, I officially feel comfortable using the term plot armor, which I hate. I hate that term so much, because people generally misuse it. It's more one of those
plot
buzz terms
armor.
that people just use to complain. Plot armor, bad writing, bad author. But like Kinemon, at this point, should not be standing. At the very least,
Yeah, that's true.
more like Kiku, conscious but being carried, which, by the way, she's being carried by Nekomamushi, and that's relevant, because he's carrying Kiku using his prosthetic arm, which is actually on the same side as the arm Kiku lost. It's one of those tiny details that Oda is so good at putting together. Like, you can tell that he sat down and thought about who should carry Kiku, and not only that, but which arm she should be carrying.
Interesting.
Where is Ashura Doji? It might just be my terrible eyes, but I certainly did not see him at the impromptu Shogun ceremony, and I'm trying to figure out why. Because in my inferior mind brain, if Kinemon can be present after all of his wounds, then why not Ashura? I mean, all that happened to him was like an explosion, which is...
All that happened was an explosion.
All of the One Piece. It would be really weird if he was dead because why him over anyone else?
Yeah.
So my guess is he's just chilling somewhere, unconscious as crap. And also, we have a similar question to ask with Izo. Izo was not present for the Shogun announcement, but then again, that's also very in character, because Izo hasn't been present for anything that's happened on Wano for the last 20 years, and he doesn't even have time travel as an excuse. One solution I thought of for why they might be missing is to make the Toki prophecy come true, the whole 9 shadows thing, because in that absolutely fantastic panel of Momonosuke emerging, including Momo, there are 9 figures, on each side of him. So this does, admittedly, at least fit with the numbers.
The 9, yeah.
The weird thing is, though, one of those characters is Shinobu, and I don't see why she would be prioritized over a core vassal like Ashura.
Yeah.
You know what, though? Maybe it's because Ashura and Izo were kind of the betrayers of the group. Which sounds hard to say because, Kanjuro exists.
There's
Still,
that, yeah.
Izo left Wano and Ashura eventually lost faith, whilst each and every other vassal maintained full faith all along. Now, to be fair, in the case of Kinemon and Raizo, that was much easier to do than, say, Kawamatsu or Dojuro. I don't know, though. I'm probably thinking too deeply about this, like it's my job or something. Tama is also relevant this week, and we have some more information about how her powers work, which is that the Dango effect has a time limit of 1 month, which is narratively pretty essential to point out, because otherwise there's a bit of a moral line that you could argue that Tama is definitely crossing. Because if not for that limit, her ability then essentially becomes to create lifelong slaves. And even if she's using those powers for good and the slaves enjoy it while it's happening, it's still becoming enslaved in the end, and that's generally not a good thing. So that's also why we have that whole part about the creatures making a choice afterwards.
Which, I like that. I do like that.
Free will. But also to tell us, hey, don't worry about those pesky beast pirates because they're probably going to choose to stay good. So we're just tying things up in a neat little Dango-infused package. There was a bit of an interesting moment with Speed in regards to how Tama wanted her to be her mother, and Speed has this, Food Wars style orgasmic reaction. It was a bit weird. I mean, I see what Oda was going for, but my filthy mind brain just can't see past that. And also, Nami was in this section. And originally I thought, was Oda just making this, a stereotypical female moment moment. But no, actually, not at all. Nami observing this moment is actually very, very powerful, because she also had an adoptive mother, and this Tama speed situation is reminding her of Belmer. So it's all very lovely and sweet. But then that flashback, wow, that hit. Going through Tama's life from losing her parents to selling hats to meeting Tenguyama was very powerful.
It was nice to see, yeah.
I guess it is quite easy to summarize the life of someone who's only lived a handful of years, because we have about a page and a half's worth of content, but it feels very full and complete. Weirdly enough, Kaido's flashback was only about 3 times longer than Tama's, and, well, as it turns out, it's much harder to summarize the life of a man who has lived almost 60 years. At least in like 3 to 4 pages anyway.
Yeah.
What I liked, though, was it showed us a key seed of hope. Tenguyama giving Tama the will to live on is a very key moment that directly led to the victory on Wano. She is one of many essential elements here. So it's a nice juxtaposition. We see the victory, the result, and then we cut back to the moment where that seed of victory was planted. Speaking of, I now feel very comfortable finally ticking off another one of our 2022 bingo items.
Oh, okay.
Because I am calling it, the raid has officially succeeded. Which is honestly something I wanted to do last week, but I think it would have copped a lot of flack from the people who were insisting that Kaido was going to get back up. But we are 100% done. And this is like proper epilogue Wano territory now. Although something I'd like to linger on is that Kaido's defeat is almost certainly going to be the last time we get to experience the fall of a big bad until the end of the series. This is the penultimate.
True, because the only Emperor left is, well, Blackbeard and Shanks.
But I think the next time we see a moment like this is going to be Blackbeard, which is both terrifying and exciting.
Oh, mate, can't wait.
Terrifying because we are about to begin the true countdown to the end of One Piece, and exciting because I want to know and see all of the things that still need to happen. But the thing I'm most excited for right now is the utter tsunami of information dumps incoming. Because for as long as I've been a One Piece fan, by far the most exciting chapters to read weekly have always been the epilogue stuff. In the coming months, I very much expect wave after wave of revelations that are going to
it's going to be sick.
Base to its core, and also probably spoil a whole bunch of people on Twitter. Because when big things happen, they are always globally trending these days. Which on the one hand is cool. It's great that One Piece is so big and stuff. And on the other hand, it's kind of annoying, because this stuff is usually trending before the chapter actually comes out. But since we do have to wait, here's another video. It's good, perhaps even great, and I look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, man, I did really like that chapter, and it's going to be interesting to see how we go. I hope Yamato joins the Straw Hats, because yeah, it would be cool to see him interact with everyone else. Yeah, that was the first time we interacted. Didn't even clock onto that. Like, yeah, only known Luffy the whole time, because the face and that. Anyway, thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video I upload, links in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month is all that helps support the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you guys very much for that. And thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys next time.